What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a great day. We playing some raid, obviously, and we're going to be taking a look at another Hydra banger. This champion is crazy for Hydra. I thought the kit was very well put together when I looked at it, and I thought that he could do some serious damage, especially with his multipliers. When I looked online for information on the champion and videos about him, all I could find were bad things. I'm not exactly sure why everybody was saying this champion was so bad, but my god, this dude is actually crazy. Let's talk about his kit very quickly, and then I will go over the gear, masteries, and whatnot. And I don't even really want to focus on his base form. His metamorphed form is actually really strong for Hydra. So on the A1, attacks one enemy after attacking, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target. If the target is under Hex, before the attack, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target before attacking instead. So if he's getting fear on himself, true fear on himself in Hydra, and the Hydra heads have Hex, he's going to transfer that debuff before he takes a turn with his A1, which is very clutch. On the A2, attacks all enemies before attacking, removes all debuffs from this champion. Damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. Will ignore 20% of the target's defense if they are under a Hex debuff. So again, removing that true fear, removing any debuffs, whether it be poisons, what have you, provokes, before he takes a turn. Well, actually it wouldn't work for provoke because he's going to have to use his A1 anyway, but true fears, poisons, anything else that you get put on you in Hydra, he's going to remove that with the A2 and then smack. That was A3, attacks all enemies before attacking, places a Hex debuff and a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Will ignore life barrier, poison cloud, and ally protection. So he's going to place this regardless of what is going on in the Hydra. The only thing you would have to worry about is if you had block debuffs and the Head of Mischief stole it and spread it onto the other heads. That shouldn't be a problem for most people at this point. And his passive fully heals him every time he kills an enemy under Hex. Also increases his attack by 10% for each enemy under Hex. So the more Hex, the better. Hex is already doing a ton anyway in Hydra, so like why not use it in a comp regardless of the champ that you have. His base form is solid. I've only used it at the start, but it's not exactly what we want to be using in there. The multipliers on the alternate form are significantly better. His A3 on his base form does hit pretty decently, but it's not crazy. Now, as far as the blessing that we have on him, currently we have Haven Cast on him, but in the run that I'm going to show you guys, we actually didn't have it on him. We had Crushing Rend, but to get the most out of him, we switched to Haven Cast, and I have not yet done a run to test the damage difference. But even with Crushing Rend at 5 stars, which isn't ideal because you're not getting the most out of it. If we take a look at Crushing Rend here at 5 stars, the first 2 hits of each round will ignore a percentage of the target's defense. This is only going to benefit you at the very start of the match and when heads respawn. So all of that in between time, you don't really get the benefits of Crushing Rend at all. So if you don't have 6 star, it's not really that good on him. So we switched to Haven Cast, and I can't wait to test it. As far as the sets, we have a Merciless set on him, 9-piece Merciless. So we're getting all of these benefits here: crit damage, attack speed, a chance to decrease a random skill cooldown when dealing damage, some more attack, ignore defense, more speed, more crit damage, and a chance to get an extra turn. So this is actually the most broken DPS set in the game currently, and I encourage people to do Curse City to get it. We have offense and support masteries on him at the moment. Going down the offense tree, Cycle of Violence is actually pretty key, just because on Decapitated Head, champions that do a big amount of damage, those big hitters, are going to get an opportunity to get a decreased skill cooldown. If you're using any of the heavy hitters, you definitely want to be using Cycle of Violence. Down into Helm Smasher to ignore some more defense, and down the support tree so that we are extending those debuffs that he is placing. We want to extend Hex, and we want to extend decreased defense. Let's go and take a look at the run that I did. I'm gonna pull it up for you guys. I pre-recorded it because it is about a 2-hour run, which is actually crazy. In the comp here, we have Calamitus, we have Predrag, we have Toshiro Mikage, we have a Feral, and we have a Lydia. I'm going to talk through a bit of the beginning of the run, and then I will, skip ahead to the end so that we can see what the final damage is. So here we're just going to open up with some A1s here because I'm not bringing Provoke at all into this run. And so we just want to get some damage up quickly on the head that you need to be provoking, so that way we can try to kill him, get decreased speed up so that we can make sure that we get, you know, poison cloud isn't an issue at the start as well. So I want the poison cloud head to go before the provoke head. We're going to try to kill that provoke head as well, but you're going to start to see some ridiculous damage, especially from, you know, Tashiro, but Calamitus doing some crazy damage as well. One of the force heads decapitated, he's hitting for like 3 mil with his A2 with, you know, decent debuffs, because he's getting a damage increase for every debuff. And something else to note about using this champion on this rotation, he is pretty much going to be weak affinity for the majority of the fight based on the RNG of the heads that spawn. Just based on the run, looking at it, he was pretty much weak affinity for majority of the fight. Right now it's 50-50 because we have 2 spirit heads, 2 magic heads, but with the respawning, it was terrible. He's doing a lot of weak hits. You're gonna start to see some serious damage here from him. A1 hitting for over 1 mil, A2 and A3 being able to hit for 2 mil, and it just requires the right setup. So we're starting here, 6 turns, 16 mil damage. The damage has not built up a ton at the moment. Tashiro's about to land a big smack there, and pretty soon our boy Calamitus is going to go. Mikage and Tashiro together are kind of crazy. As you can see, 1.5 mil A1 there from Calamitus on decapitated heads. So this champion can do some pretty good damage if he is properly built. We're going to get another severed head in a moment, and we will also take down the head of Wrath on the right side. He's going to be going down as well, and then we can get some more decapitated head damage. Let's see what his A2 is hitting for. Not hitting for much right now. There weren't a lot of debuffs up, but as the run goes on, the damage just starts to ramp up tremendously. And now I'm going to skip ahead toward the end of the fight here. So let's just skip ahead here. We're almost at the turn count now. So we're over 2 billion damage now with the comp. And Tashiro obviously doing a good bit of that damage, right? Probably doing about half of the total damage. But our damage has ramped up significantly. And I'll just skip here to the end right before the turn count ends. There we go. So right around 2.4 mil. If I pulled this champion, I would be pretty happy, to be honest. I haven't pulled a mythical yet. If I pulled him, I would be pretty happy. So we have Calamitus here doing 698 million damage. He's actually contributing a ton. Tashiro doing 1.3 billion. You know, Lydia, Mikage, Firo, Padrag all playing their part as well, but Calamitus coming in 700 mil. I think that is pretty good damage. I don't know how much damage we want him to do. Do we want him to be completely broken? And this is with Crushing Rend as well, so he's gonna do a lot better when you talk about bringing a blessing that actually benefits him. But that is the damage, and the damage is, I would say, pretty solid. So with Haven Cast, I expect him to do a bit more damage because we're going to be getting 1.5% damage for each buff, and this is a very buff heavy comp. If you know, just look at the run again, we have a lot of buffs up. He's got 5 buffs up now. I have everybody pretty much, you know, everybody's placing a lot of buffs, right? Mikage is placing buffs, Firo is placing buffs, Lydia is placing buffs, Padrag is also placing buffs. So Haven Cast should give us a good bit of damage that we missed out on from going with Crushing Rend. So synopsis on the champ, I think he is very solid. I don't think they really need to change anything with his kit. I think it is very good for Hydra. Solid champion. I am very pleased with his performance for sure. Let me know if you have pulled this champion, guys. I know a lot of people were saying they were down about it. Thank you for watching as always, guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, guys, be good and be well.